clean my phone. I must clean cameras, front and back.
All right, we're good to go. Studio. All right, and here we are. It is 2 minutes past 9 a.m. This beautiful hump of the week, Wednesday morning, cool weather we're having. And I really hope it stays that way. The weather forecast telling me there's a haze out there. Let it just remain hazy. I don't want the sun to come out. I need the weather to remain cool, as calm as possible. You're listening to the Smooth Breakfast this Wednesday morning, Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. It's that time to get into the world of conversation. Here on Lagos Talks, we get to talk about different issues, bring them to the fore. We learn from each other as well, and just pass on very relevant information that you need to take yourself from here to there, and so on and so forth. Once again, my name is Ayokunmi. Good to have you join us on another amazing session. A great conversation we're going to have today, and it's something that is really important, and it speaks directly to your hustle, to your ambition, and of course, your next level. Yes, indeed. We're unpacking a powerful topic, talking about networking and its importance to career growth. There's nothing that you want to tell me. If you want to take your career from A to the next level, networking has to happen. Even for everyday interactions, networking is very key. Now, before you roll your eyes and just think about, oh, networking, you exchange business cards, you do LinkedIn likes, and so on and so forth. Mm-mm. Hold that thought. Networking is a whole lot deeper. It's about connection, it's about strategy, it's about access. And if you've ever wondered how some people land opportunities that you do not hear about, well, you want to stay with us in order to find out how you can also get yourself in that space. My guest today knows this world inside out. She's a seasoned leader. She is a career strategist. She's a managing partner at Sunesis DLP. Please welcome Oluwatoyin Asada to Lagos Talks. Very good morning to you, Oluwatoyin. Great to have you.
Good morning, Ayokunmi. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here again.
Yes, indeed. About a year after the last time we were on the show together.
Yes.
Better late than never, as they say. I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, looking at what you've done, you wear many hats. Kudos to you for, doing that. You've mentored young professionals, you've coached mid-career folks, you've built a very vast and impactful network yourself. But before we dive in fully into this conversation, can you
Yeah.
briefly share what exactly networking means to you?
Okay.
Personally, not just personally, because like I said earlier, some people think about networking, oh, give you my card, take your card, go to
Mhm.
LinkedIn, do one or two things there. But what exactly is the true picture of networking from a personal point of view?
Okay, so for me, before I even go into the, will I say, the major definition that I created, for me, networking should be a lifestyle. For me, it's a lifestyle, and the lifestyle of building meaningful connections, and it can be done anywhere. So you open yourself up to opportunities, and those opportunities come through people. So we meet people every day, even in our in neighborhoods
Mm,
before we even step out of our neighborhoods, and then we go to work, we go to school, we go to church, we go to the markets.
yeah.
All of those places are where we can meet people. So it should be a lifestyle. So how are you when they meet you? Basically, those things would impact greatly on your ability to network effectively and harness the opportunities around you that can come from people. And I also should, strongly mention here that the opportunities that can also flow from you to people.
Okay.
So yeah, so also seek to give. And so going along, I would define it, right? But just have it in mind that it's a lifestyle. It should come to you naturally, and it's
Right.
not restricted to an event, a big event. So now let me go to the major definition.
Mm,
So I created this definition. It's in my book, right? Networking is a process of building meaningful connections, building mutually beneficial connections,
okay.
with the intention of, you know, sorry, I think I mixed that up. Networking is a process of meeting people, interacting with people with the intention of building a mutually beneficial
Relationship.
relationship.
Okay.
So I'm going to stress on those words. The process, it takes time, and you are building a mutually beneficial relationship. So it's a two-way street, not a parasitic relationship. Also, with the intention. So you have to be very intentional about it. And that's why I say it must be a lifestyle.
Mm,
And then like I said, it's a relationship we are building. So it's not a one off. So you need to
Right,
also
right,
create a connection, build a rapport.
right. So when it becomes a lifestyle
Yes.
as time goes on,
Yes.
but let me just dial back here. A lot of Nigerians actually would equate networking with quote unquote eye service, or feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's being all manipulative and
Yeah.
everything. Why do you think there's such a huge discomfort around it? I mean, how can we start reframing networking as not you just trying to be manipulative, but as an authentic tool for growth?
Yeah. So I understand where people are coming from because a lot of people actually like a lot of people have had this very wrong approach to networking because the the first thing that comes to their mind, even subconsciously, is what's in it for me. When I meet
Hmm,
this person, what can I
hmm,
get from this relationship? What can I gain from meeting this person? So, and that's where the disconnect starts. So, you become manipulative when you think about what you can only get, not what you can also give, and even how you can seek to be of value to this person. And even beyond value exchange, we're not focusing on building meaningful connections.
okay.
Like I said, it's a relationship. So, usually, to network effectively, there needs to be a level of connection between you and that person. This connection usually takes time. When you have a very short-term approach towards it, when you want instant gratification, then it becomes manipulative. But when you have a mindset where you understand that we are human beings and we need to get to know each other, we need to build a
Hmm,
rapport, then you would not be manipulated because you're going to leave it to time, you're going to leave it to chance, and usually within that time is what you put in that time is what you get out of it. So you put in your time, you put in your goodwill, you put in the value that you give, that you're focusing on, and then what you can get will come as a byproduct of the rapport that you've created. And we should also understand that it's not a one-off thing. You can gain so much from your network, in a lifetime, actually. So when I say
right.
time, time can be as short as even hours, depending on the opportunity that comes from it and what is available. And it
Okay.
can take as much as days, weeks, months, years. And within that time, you can exchange so much value, you know, from each other. But then you're not so focused on what you would get. But you're leaving it to, you are giving it time, you're letting the relationship breathe, basically. But when you have a short-term mentality towards it, instant gratification then becomes manipulative. And usually you're not even thinking about what you can give. And even when you're thinking about what you can give, you're only trying to give to get something in return. You're not really, really interested in that person. So when you're even meeting the person, you're not really getting to know who they are.
You're just
So
thinking about, oh, what exactly is the benefit? That's all
exactly
that the person
what's in
cares
it for
about.
me in this conversation. But are you seeking to get to know who they are? Apart from what they say they do, are you building a rapport with them? We need to understand that human beings, we are emotional, and we know when people actually are interested in us. We know, we can tell. It's not about what you say, it's about how you make me feel. It's about the vibe I get in this conversation.
Right,
So
right.
that way they feel freer, and then the connection is stronger, because the truth about it is that people would only even patronize who they like.
Hmm.
So you might have what they need, except maybe you're the only one that has this in the whole wide world. But if they don't
Hmm.
like you, they might just want to look at that option, right? But if they have an affinity towards you, and then they are open to patronizing you and also referring you.
That actually is a very true story, because I've been in situations where maybe I would want to buy something, maybe from maybe an Instagram vendor or
Yeah.
something, and the sort of attitude that they might have, it might not be welcoming, it might not be satisfactory, they might be standoffish or rude, or
Mm.
and I feel that I don't like this energy that you're giving. I mean, what exactly is it? You're selling X, other people are selling this. Even if you're selling one of the best qualities,
Mm-hmm.
I would feel more comfortable looking for someone else
Yes.
who actually has a better attitude, who's more welcoming, who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't look at me like bring your money and go. So
Yes.
that actually you just said just reminded me of that particular instance. But also, this is just an aside here. Is there ever a situation where one might feel, oh, I don't I don't think I have anything to offer this person. Maybe the person in question is somebody who is of a higher standing financially, socially, and so on.
Yeah.
I don't see what I can offer this person. But this person at the end of the day might like me for some reason and want to
Mm-hmm.
help me out and all that. How does one deal with that situation where the other person who is on a higher level, whatever reason, likes the other person,
Yeah.
wants to help them? I like you for whatever reason. I want to introduce you to this person to get this job, this contract. But that person feels like, what is it that I have that I can give this person that makes it mutual? Does that ever happen?
Yeah. And the first thing I want everybody to understand is everybody has value. No matter how small, quote unquote, that you think you are, compared to who you're trying to network with or you're trying to build a connection with, everybody has something that they bring to the table.
Okay.
Everybody, even your 1 year old, in fact, your baby, that you feel like I don't do everything, baby. You're the one buying all the, let's say, the diapers and the food. I feel like they're just taking. But guess what? When you're buying all those things, you derive fulfillment from buying it from them. When you're feeding them and they're taking it, you are getting value, you're getting fulfillment. I can't even explain.
Right.
And that's a baby. How much may we full grown adults? We have something that we bring to the table. And another key thing to note here is when you're meeting people who you are trying to network upwards with.
Yeah.
In my book, that's a whole section in my book, and I have a masterclass on networking upward because it's a big deal. We need to understand how to network with different levels of people, our contemporaries, and those that are above and those that are quote unquote will not beneath us, but those that where I say subordinates to us in
Right.
whatever sense. So when you're trying to network upwards, the first thing that you should do is do your research, especially if you have an opportunity to prepare ahead. Let's say, for example, it's a conference, and you know this person is coming for this conference, a guest speaker or whatever, the trainer. Do your research about this person, and also, why do you want to meet this person? Your why is very important. Why? Your why will guide you, because even if we are that people that we admire and we look up to, do we really need to meet up with them? You need to be very true to yourself. Ask yourself why, because you may just want to tell them you admire them and that's it. Just because maybe you watch, for example, they are maybe the person's an actress and you
Okay.
want to just admire what they do. But if there's something you feel like you can give to that person, that should be your starting point. If that person you believe can open doors for you or can give you mentorship or an advice or something, then prepare ahead of time about what you want to ask the person. So asking your questions really matter, and then in building a rapport. Usually these people are people that they would have, let's say, books or let's say movies or songs.
Mm.
Then you giving them a feedback on what they have done is value. So if, for example, as an author, if you come to me and tell me what you gain in my book, that is value. If,
True.
for example, I have a movie out, we have people bringing out movies on the cinemas, on YouTube, on Netflix, and they want feedback because they want to do better. And they want to show that this my movie is gaining traction. You, their fans, who think you are lower than them, you have the value I give them is letting them know, what, this movie, this is what it did to me. This I
Mm.
enjoyed this movie, what I learned. That feedback is value. So we think value in terms of maybe money or whatever position, but value can be anything.
It goes beyond
It
that.
goes beyond material things. And
Okay.
value, if you are someone that has done your research, you can see how you can be of value to this person. Even having that conversation on if based on what they have done is value to them. That time, because you have an intellectually stimulating conversation with them that even gets them to think, and then have questions to ask them about what they've done. You can even give them some sort of critique, but you do it with wisdom,
Mm.
anyways.
Constructive
Constructive
criticism.
criticism in a way that shows that you really want them to be better, or that you have suggestions for them. Those are examples of how you can add value. But if you do your research, you will know areas where you can actually add value to them. For example, does this person have an NGO or an initiative that they need volunteers for? Being a volunteer is adding value to them. And that's one of the great ways to actually build network with people that are higher than you, because you are adding value to them by giving your time, giving your energy to their cause. So there are different ways, but when you do your research, you know how you can come in to network with them effectively. So you're not just going there, just being a fan, taking pictures and just smiling or being shy. But because you have done your research, you know how to come in and you do it strategically. Also seek to build a
Mm.
rapport. Who are you? Be very clear about who you are. Have your elevator pitch, have your unique pitch, something that speaks to who you are as a person. So you're going there showing who you are and then connect it to what they do. So doing your
Right.
research always helps in this regard.
Mm. Research, research, and more research. Definitely going to help the cause. All right, let's take our first break of the morning. When we come back in, we'll begin to look at where and how one begins to network. Keep it tuned to Lagos Talks this morning on the Smooth Breakfast right here on Smooth 98.1.
Smooth breakfast on your dial, just the way you like it. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Hi, this is Gold Swag on Smooth 98.1, the smoothest dial on Lagos Radio.
Oh, that's IG Live.
Yeah.
I never
At
seem to
Providus
do IG
Bank,
lives.
we
I always tell
redefine
myself, oh, I'll
banking
do
by
IG live.
synergizing
You do a
innovation,
topic.
expertise,
I just
and personalized service.
what
Our
do you put?
commitment to
Small thing. I
excellence
think it's
drives
part
us
of
to create
topic not here.
value for individuals,
All right, no,
corporations, and
Abi,
institutions. Our comprehensive products and
how am I
services
doing so far?
range from personal and
so far so good.
affluent banking, catering
So far
to
so
the
good.
top tier HNI
The
and
energy is
ultra
energizing.
HNI
Thank
markets,
you.
to
What about the
corporate
content?
solutions,
What I'm
providing
saying?
strategic
Oh,
guidance to
it's making
SMEs,
sense. I mean,
emerging corporates,
like
local
I said, what
corporates,
you
and
mentioned earlier
multinationals.
about
Our
people doing
relationship
business, it
managers
is
are
very true.
dedicated to
Mm-hmm.
It is very,
understanding
very
the
true.
goals of
I've
customers
I've
and
had reason
delivering
to,
service with speed,
should I
efficiency,
say,
and
just distance
courtesy,
myself from
embodying the concept of
certain people
service
because
with a
they just feel,
smile.
oh, because I'm
Convenience
selling
is
this, so I'm
key
doing
as
that.
our digital
Mm-hmm.
platforms empower
You
our
buy or you no buy,
customers to manage
Come
their
on.
come up,
finances
Mm-hmm.
that
seamlessly.
sort of thing.
Our
But they never seem to
best-in-class
understand
mobile
that it goes
application,
beyond that.
Providus
The
Plus, and
approach
corporate internet
Yes.
is very
banking
important. If you come across as
provides
being very,
cutting-edge solutions to enhance
abrasive
customer
and
experiences and
standoffish
stay
and
ahead in
rude,
the
Mm-hmm.
because you might
ever-evolving
not be directly
financial
rude, but the
landscape.
attitude might
Yeah,
Providus
you're
have,
giving
Bank,
off.
when you give it
future
that rude.
forward banking.
I'm sorry,
Providus
I'll
Bank.
find someone else
Yeah.
Future forward
to
banking.
buy from. Easy peasy. That's a lesson that a lot of people need to learn.
Yeah.
They have no idea. All right, welcome back into Lagos Talks this morning on the Smooth Breakfast, Smooth 98.1, smooth style on Lagos Radio. We love music and we definitely love life as well. It is 18 minutes past 9 a.m. and you are welcome into a world of great conversation. My name is Ayokunmi and we're taking a look at networking this morning. Yes, networking and career growth. They really go hand in hand because we all know that there's someone who knows someone who knows someone that can take you from hero to superhero. I don't want to say zero to heroes, to hero, from hero to superhero, you know.
True.
And this morning, talking to us about this, I have with me in the studio Oluwatoyin Asada. She is a managing partner at Sunesis DLP. So, I mean, clearly the legal luminary. She's a writer. She does everything, many hats that she wears. And I'm glad to have you in the studio once again to
Thank you.
have this conversation. You also, Lagos, can join us on this discussion. Not just Lagos, Nigeria, the entire world, because you know you can listen to us anywhere that you are. Carry us with us everywhere you go on your favorite radio streaming apps. You can keep up with us on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube as well at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. WhatsApp, you can send your messages in. You can give us a call as well if you have any questions you'd love to ask concerning this particular matter. The WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981 0809 981. Come on and come on. Let's talk about this particular issue. So, to back into the matter, like I mentioned earlier on before we went on that break, I said we take a look at the where and the how.
Mm.
Where should people start? I mean, beyond the office corridors, beyond the job fairs that might happen. What are some strategic spaces that people should be showing up, both online and offline? Because online is now a very, very big space
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So starting point is you have to look at what you do and your networking goal. So in fact, your goal should come first. So what is your goal for networking? Why do you want to network? What area? Where are the lapses that you need more people to help you in? So your goal would guide you on where you need to start from. So for example, if your networking goal is to get more customers, let's say for example you're in the food business and you need to get more customers. So your goal now is to get more customers. So where are your customers? So that's where you need to start looking at. So even in narrowing down where your customers are, you need to go deeper into your target markets because depending on what service you offer, let's say for example you are into let's say luxury catering, gourmet catering, a gourmet chef, and it's not everybody can afford your services. So you need to go to where those within the brackets of your target audience are to find them. So you may want to start with conferences, high ticket conferences, or high ticket community groups. Find yourself in those areas and then network there. And so I would advise you to embrace different, will I say, events or different communities at the same time. So there are a lot of communities out there, paid communities, free communities on WhatsApp, on what have you, different platforms. Join those platforms. And then all of these events, there are trade fairs, you know, there are lots of events that pop up here and there. Go there and find your customers there. So you can go there as a participant, you can also go there as a vendor, meet them, network with them, and that way you are building your clientele. You are building your prospects actually, because you know why you are going there. Do you need more clients? Go to where your clients are. Also, in your field, are you trying to build up your network to be able to get more opportunities for let's say your career prospects? Maybe you are looking to changing jobs, or just getting something better, or even just improving your knowledge in that field. Then in your industry, are you part of the association? Almost every industry that we are, in fact every industry, because even the pepper sellers and the pepper grinders, they have associations. How much more, lots of we that say white collar, those of us in white collar professions, and even those of us in, because a lot of us now are in different fields. A lot of us are in different fields, and these fields have their associations, caterers, fashion designers. So in your associations, are you active there? Are you active in associations? I want being active starts from you make sure that you're a registered member, you're paying your dues, and you're going for all the meetings and all the conferences. When you do that, you are expanding your horizon, because you learn more about what's going on in your industry, in your field. You know what's going on, you know where to even go to. You get more information, more insight. So what determines where you actually go to is what you want. So for example, if you're a young school leaver, let's say you're a young graduate, and then you want to get more opportunities to grow, your network, to get more job prospects. Let's say let me use my example. Maybe a lawyer. I'm a business lawyer, so I have to start with my own in this constituency.
That's the easiest one.
Yeah, join the NBA, the Nigerian Bar Association. Join the NBA, go for their meetings. Even if you don't know who is who, from going for meetings, you can begin to build rapport. You can begin to network. Do it at your own pace, based on your capacity, little by little. Like that is a process, and even building the skill takes time. So when you go to all of these spaces, you begin to know what's going on. And then, what industry are you trying to serve? Go to these industry associations. If you want to serve the real estate, let's say for example, you're an interior designer, and you know that a lot of your clients are real estate developers, go to their associations, join them, go for their meetings, go for their conferences.
Begin to build the connections there.
Build the connections there. Those are where your clients are. So your goal will guide you to finding where your, those are trying to network with are.
Okay, now that being said, I've identified where we actually need to go. I've identified the associations, I've identified the conferences, the meetings, and so on and so forth. Now, this leads me to a question. Now, this one is kind of personal as well, because it's something that I've dealt with before. How exactly do you break the ice in those places without feeling awkward or feeling like you're forcing the issue?
Yeah.
Some people find it difficult to, should I say, connect with new people.
Yeah.
It could be a challenge. I mean, how exactly do you go about that?
So when it comes to connecting with people, even extroverts sometimes feel some type of way. How much more introverts, right? Because a lot of times we don't want to be rejected. So that fear of rejection is what restrains us a lot of times. It inhibits us from going out there to, even when we are there, we're just like, I'm scared. But the first thing I just tell you is, do it afraid. You may have all these principles, you read my book, go for my master classes, buy my resources and everything, but you actually have to take that first step. You need to build up that courage and do it afraid.
No matter how many resources you take in, if you don't do, it's a waste of time.
You're your own. So what's the point? What's the difference between you that have that knowledge, and the other person that doesn't have the knowledge? So you don't really need to do it afraid, meaning you will feel the fear. You will feel the fear of rejection, but guess what? You will do it regardless. Let me tell you a story. I once connected. I once did a very beautiful connection with someone at a fashion show a few years ago. At that event, I got there really late. And as soon as I stepped out of the house, I realized I didn't really like how I was looking. I didn't like how my hair was. I felt my hair was a little rough. I had a Ghana weaving on at that time. And then I just wasn't feeling so good that day for some reason. And I think it was just a me thing. I think I was doing okay. But, sometimes you just don't feel so confident, but you feel like you've tried, but you're out of the house anyways.
Yeah.
And then I was at the event, and we had the fashion show. And I got there late. I think that part of, the issue there was I got there late. I didn't feel like I took my time to take in the environment. And then, be thinking about where I would sit and everything. So I found a seat and I just sat down and I just joined the event. And I couldn't meet anybody before the event, and during the event, I just kind of felt some kind of way. And I told myself, Tony, you won't leave this event without meeting somebody. So the event came to an end. And people started going. I said, like, oh my God, I came here, I didn't meet anybody. Because that's about being intentional. Go to a place and make sure you meet at least one person. No pressure on yourself, right? And that was my goal, you know. So the event ended, I started going, like I said, and I looked around me and said, you won't leave here without meeting somebody. And there was three ladies behind me. They sat on this the same table where I was at. And I said, you know what, let me just go and say hello. Hello is hello. And it's funny how there are days where you feel like you're so sure of yourself and days where you're not feeling sure of yourself. But you need to be constant throughout every other day.
Yeah.
You know, the days you feel good, days you don't feel good, because it's not by your feelings. And that day I just took out the prayer and I walked towards them and I was usually shaking on the inside. Imagine, just to meet my fellow women.
Just say hello.
Just to say
That's
hello.
all.
So I'm an extrovert, so I get it, right? Well, I'm an introvert with you know, tits and bits of introverted, you know, characteristics, right? But that day it came out more. My introvert side really came out more, and I just took up the curtain and I walked up to them and I said, hello. That's all I needed to say. Hello. Breaking the ice with hello, good morning, good evening, I love your dress. Those are ice-breaking words you can use. Just say hello. Even if you feel like person would not respond, just say it. Know that you tried. Because your hello might be met with a smile from someone that will say, hi, how are you? And then they are the ones that are now steering the conversation that you don't even have to do so much anymore, because you just say hello, just one word. You know, it takes like how many microseconds to just say hello, right? And when I said hello to those ladies, they're like, hi, they're so welcoming, and I just felt so at ease instantly. And right there and then, I built a connection with a movie producer. And if I told you that from that connection, I have been able to connect somebody, an upcoming actress, to a gig.
Person.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And the person has done 3 gigs with this movie producer. One is showing on Amazon Prime right now.
Just because.
So you can move from being a networker to a connector. The more you keep building your skills, the more opportunities you get to do that.
And this is because you summoned the courage to say hello.
Yes, yes. And that relationship is still ongoing with that lady and the other lady as well. So it's not about what I've gotten. I didn't even say, I don't want to just, so that's the thing. What is driving you? Be genuinely interested in meeting people, in getting to know who human beings are. You know, that way, that will push you to just, you know, do it afraid, basically. So you can see the lessons here. Hello. Ask questions. So if you're in an environment too, sometimes you can make them come to you. How? If you're in a conference, for example, and usually in conferences we have panels, we have keynote speakers, and there's what there's time for Q&A. Maximize those opportunities. So when you stand up and you pick up the microphone and ask a question, you do yourself, say what you do, and then ask your question. Make sure it's a very good question. Even if you're not sure, just ask. You know what? People are afraid to fail too much. It's too much.
That is
true. You don't know what you can get if only you try. And so a lot of opportunities I've gotten over the years, from networking, in building my law firm, in doing great things, are from me just trying. And guess what? Out of 100%, you know, 99% of the time you get it right. Because you just try. The more you try, the better you get. And so the remaining aspect, that time you get snubbed, and it's okay. It's okay to get snubbed. Prepare your mind to be snubbed. That way, you've already envisioned this. So it doesn't really come to you as a surprise. And what helps in all of these things is building your self-worth. If you have a strong self-esteem, have a strong self-worth, nothing will faze you. The way they treat you wouldn't reflect on you, because you know it's not a you problem, it's a them problem. I also realized that there's so many reasons why people might be snobbish. They might not have your time, or they might just be in a very funny phase, or they might even be snobbish from being snobbish, and that's okay. But how do you feel about yourself? What do you see when you look in the mirror? So you need to keep affirming yourself and building yourself. You know, these things are very layered. I'm going to different areas because they affect how you come up, you know, to the people, and how you network, and how you present yourself to the public. Because if you have good self-worth, no matter what happens, you're good. You might feel, that hurts, she just snubbed me, or she was rude to me. Take it yourself. I feel this, but you know what? I move because I'm worthy. I have value. It doesn't reflect on me. So that way you can do it afraid. You can ask questions in public. You cannot be afraid to ask a stupid question. Try and ask good questions. So when you listen properly, you can ask good questions. When you do your research for that event, you can ask good questions, and then you ask a question that makes sense. And guess, after the event, people flock to you. At least one or two people will come and meet you. I have had so many experiences like this. I'll be at an event, a very big conference of thousands of women, and then I'll ask the question. After that event, I've gotten clients, I've gotten mentors that would approach me
just from asking
because I took up the microphone and I asked that question. And guess what? all through when I was raising my hand, asked question, and when I was asking question, I was shaking on the inside. What I have to do is afraid.
But nobody saw that anyway.
Nobody saw it because even if they saw it, they will admire your courage to do it regardless. And everybody's afraid too. Everybody's afraid. So when you do it and they can even see your nerves, they can understand and they can even empathize with you and they won't encourage you. Because we human beings naturally are actually very empathetic, but we don't realize how empathetic we are to ourselves.
Right.
So just do it afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. So asking questions, in my book, I have a lot of icebreaker questions that I put in my book, right? So when you have all of these things in your arsenal, for example, you're in an event and they're talking about maybe, for example, education, you can ask your neighbor, what do you think of this topic? Have been a rapport based on that is also another way to break the ice. So now you don't have to say good morning, hello. Look for tactics. You can even have interesting questions like, oh, if Ayomiku, if you could have one color for the rest of your life, what would it be? What would it be?
Black.
Imagine. That's a question. Guess what? You ask me right back, right?
Of course.
And I would say, no, I don't have any color like that. I would say maybe pink. I'm like, oh, that's so cliche. Guess what? We're having a conversation. We're already having a rapport. And then we'll move into other topics. Right? So have all of these things. You can even research them beforehand. If you read in my book, you have different suggestions for you. But just prepare your mind, and that it helps you based on the situation on ground to know how you can come in and break the ice.
Very well said. Very well said. I mean, the mindset is very important. Failure is not a bad thing when you think about it. Let's never be afraid to fail. That is something that we deal with a lot as Nigerians. Let's take another breather here. When we come back in, we'll continue on the conversation. And man, I'm having so much fun this morning and getting a lot of tips and tricks from this conversation. Keep it tuned. Lagos Talks. We'll be back on the other side of this right here on Smooth 98.1. So we just hello. We're able to connect to someone and then connect to that person to another person.
Yeah. It's what you do within that period. From the hello to when you have when you have the opportunity that matters. After that event, you follow up. I think we should cover follow up. After this, follow up really matters. It's not about just exchanging cards where you don't connect. So after the event, what do? Do you just accumulate cards or accumulate comments on your phone, but you do nothing about it? You understand? So what you do really matters. How you go about doing it.
Well, sometimes saying that hello is where the problem is. What if they just look at me like
it's almost like you're trying to fry fish and splash on me. But you know what? You have to fry that fish. If not, no chop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Banking should be all about you and your business.
So sometimes I've had great opportunities from those saying like cringy things, you do it and you move. And what about networking? The more so that you do it. But the more you do it, the more you do it because you get used to it. You even get used to the nerve. You say, oh, I'm feeling nervous, Abby. It becomes a rhythm. You understand what's going on, and then you're able to leverage the opportunities around you because you don't do I'm just like it's your job now. You're forced on the job compared to now. You want to compare it.
It's not comparable. When you do over and over and over, it becomes more natural. Absolutely. Like second nature.
Absolutely.
Kind of.
Absolutely.
And we're back. This is Lagos Talks on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. We are your love music, love life, love conversation station as well. It's 35 minutes past 9 a.m. It's a Wednesday, beautiful, cool Wednesday morning. My name is Ayokunmi, and I'm having so much fun in the studio with my guest this morning. We are talking about networking and career growth. Even if you're not growing your career, networking still very important. Oluwatoyin Asada is still with me in the studio. She is sharing all this amazing knowledge with us this morning. You can join us on the conversation if you have any questions that you might want to ask, any advice that you might need if you're trying to network with this person or that person. Send you a message in to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also join us on YouTube. We're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, Tony, back into the conversation. Now, we've talked about how we can break the ice, how swallowing all the nerves and going to say a simple hello can take you from where you are to nirvana. A simple hello. But, after doing all that, you said hello, you've responded, you've bonded, you've connected with the person, you exchange numbers, you exchange cards and so on and so forth. What next? I mean, how key is the follow-up. Yes, you've done the hard bit of breaking the ice and getting to meet the person.
Yes.
How about following up after all that?
Okay, so now what we need to understand is that the follow-up stage is the most important stage of networking. So in fact, if you do not follow up, then why did you even bother in the first place?
Right.
Because networking doesn't end right there. And that's a lot of people actually get frustrated in networking because they feel like, I have gone for these events, I have spent so much money, I have tried to enter these rooms, but then you do nothing afterwards. And then we need to understand also that follow-up is not also a one-off thing. So it's a process, and it's a constant thing.
Okay.
So you need to be strategic about how you want to follow up. And it all depends on your goal for networking. If, for example, you meet someone that told you that, you know what, in my company, I think there's an opportunity somewhere for you, based on your conversation. You know that you need to follow up more consistently than any other kind of connection, depending on what you want, right? So you know that you need to, apart from in the evening saying, "Oh, sir, it was nice meeting you," blah 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 blah. If you leave it at that on your own, then you want to say, "Oh, I would also like just to follow up on what we discussed regarding the opportunity about where I can send my CV or send my my credentials or whatever it is." So it all depends on the kind of connections you are building. That determines the extent or the consistency of the follow up. When you're following up, you have to do it strategically. You have to ensure that you're not being a pest either. Yes, you have to ensure that you're not asking insensitive questions. You're not being too familiar. So there are protocols for following up.
There are even protocols for that.
Of course,
okay.
Because we are human beings and we are very, very sensitive people. And there are protocols for even relating to ourselves. Like I said, there are different kind of people that you meet every day. So the way you would even bounce with me, you know, you bounce somebody else. It all depends on the level of connection.
True.
So it's as you grow in building the connection, like that means what you can say, what you should not say, and how you can say things. And so follow up is where you even build the relationship. Hello, hi. It was nice meeting you today. Blah blah blah. Also, one key tip in following up is listen attentively in your networking process. While building connections, don't be so quick. This event, I want to meet 100 people this event. So, hi, how you doing? My name is Toyin. I'm a lawyer. I'm an author, blah, blah, blah. And you move. You're not networking. You're just introducing yourself. You're not ready.
You're just doing meet and greet.
You're doing meet and greet. You're not even really meeting. In fact, you're just greeting them. Because you need to give it time. Like I keep saying, it's a process, and it's not in the numbers. It's about the quality of your connections, not in the quantity. And so when you are starting to build a rapport, you are connecting on a deep level, you will have talking points for your follow-up.
Right.
So what you have invested into that 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes, depending on the situation, 10 minutes, sometimes you can even have an hour, maybe during lunch break, you were together for like 30 minutes. How you invest fully in it determines your follow-up process. Right? So what are your talking points? What are your talking points that you can now use in your follow-up process? For example, if I'm meeting you and you're telling me that your first son just is graduating from university next week and you're flying to Canada for the graduation, that's a talking point. So if I'm following up with you, like let me say that day, that should be starting point. So that you have like 40 hours mark. For the earlier the better. For this to 72 hours after meeting, for the earlier the better. So you can do it that very evening, great. If you can do that evening, the next day. But try and do it within 72 hours.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because in my head I'm thinking, okay, we've met, I've gone home, we've gone home. I mean, how long do I wait before I send a message? How long do I wait before I call the person? Because as an aside, I'm thinking of, when man meets woman, do I call her when I get home? Do I call her tomorrow? That kind of thing.
That was networking now. I mean, really, it all depends on the situation, right? But the end because you want to build mind share.
Right.
So people have attention span is really, really low for people. So and they meet a lot of people. So the earlier you build a connection, the better for you. Right. And so once you followed up that day and then you ask, all the best, and I wish you a safe flight to Canada for the graduation, all the best to your son. I wish him all the best. And then when you check in, let's say weeks after, how was the graduation party? Follow on social media. That's another good to follow up. But when you follow on social media, let's say on Instagram, on LinkedIn, even on WhatsApp, you see each other's status. There are talking points. So you can see what they are doing. So it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. So your mom, happy birthday to your mom. You are following up by just keeping in touch. Following up is keeping in touch, actually. So when you are following them on socials, that's another way to build rapport over time because they are posting stuff and you're seeing what they are doing. Even even when you're patronizing them, so it's a good way to follow up with them because you keep in touch with them. So it's a case by case basis.
Right.
And wisdom and building knowledge in networking will teach you how to follow up for each type of connection you are making. So that's why we need to build our knowledge on networking. It's not just a one-off that you just do try and error. You try and error with knowledge. So you get good books, podcasts are there. There's so many resources online to build your networking knowledge, but you cannot actually build your skill without actually doing. So you build your knowledge, then build your skill by practicing what you've learned, and don't be afraid to fail.
Very important. Do not be afraid to fail. Active listening.
Yes.
Very, very key. When you listen actively, you can hear all the information and then use that in the follow-up process as well.
Absolutely. Learn all the follow-up protocols, the timing.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a message or two here on WhatsApp. This one is a message from Austin. He's in Satellite. He says, I'm enjoying listening to your guest. Thank you very much. He also said, please, I would like to meet her. Ooh. I have very nice artwork painting for one of the network providers. I've been trying to get someone that will introduce me to them, but I'm finding that very difficult.
Okay.
Another one, I'm a gifted fashion designer, I guess what you mean. I have different designs that eyes have never seen.
Beautiful.
God always shows all these. I'm not boasting. Some of these big music artists would like to have them because they are very unique. My problem is how to connect with them. If any fashion designer showcases my work on the runway, surely that fashion house will carry the day with my design. So Austin is having issues with getting into the right spaces in order to showcase what he does. Okay.
So what space are you trying to get into? So I think you mentioned that he wants to get into the let's say those in telecommunications.
No, he has paintings. He has paintings for I think for network providers. He also mentioned that I've sent some of them DMs, but they were not responding.
Yeah. So, and that's why I always keep saying you need to balance both the online and the offline networking opportunities. In fact, usually you start online, you fill it up physically. So where they have different things that they do, Google them. They have conferences that they go to. There are exhibitions that they go to. So go to those spaces physically. And human beings, even in as much as the world has become so digitized and we are all on our phones, everything's on our fingertips. But at the core of who we are, we still relate more to you physically. If we get to know you, there's something about when you meet someone physically, it just sticks better than even online connection.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of opportunities everywhere. We need to use the internet to enhance all the opportunities. So for example, we have Eventbrite. It can show you the events in the, let's say, telecom space. I know usually network providers are usually in telecom sector, right?
Yeah.
So go on Eventbrite and Google events in telecommunications. You can even Google the name of that company and look at their website. What events do they have coming up? Where are they exhibiting? Where are they going? There's so many exhibitions, so many events going on, especially in this Lagos. And even in outside Lagos, right? If you can travel down if it's not in your state, go there because you know your goal. And when you go there, who are those you are meeting? Who are the key filmmakers that can actually attend to you? Then think, is there anybody within your immediate network that can help you? Because when we talk about networking, there are different variations of it. There is the intra-networking. That means everyone that's listening to me right now have their own network. You are born into a family. That's your immediate network. Then you grow up in the neighborhood. Then you go to school. You grow up and you go to work. Those are your instant connections. You have friends. And you have a friend of a friend. You have your wife's friend, your husband's friend, your sister's friend. We all have our immediate network. That's your intra-network. We need to learn also how to leverage our intra-network because there's so many opportunities that come from there. So think, who in my current network knows somebody that knows somebody? There's this theory even for the advent of the internet. There's this theory of the 6-person rule before the internet came.
What is that?
That 6-person rule meaning there are 6 people that can get you to who you need to get to. If, for example, let's imagine that we are back in the 2000s, right? When internet was also rampant in Nigeria, and I want to meet someone from the Kekereko family, right?
Okay.
If I would need 6 people that can connect me physically, someone from the Kekereko family, 6 people, and it has been proven scientifically. So there's that rule there back then. How much more now with the advent of internet?
Interesting.
You understand? So there's always someone that can get you to where you go. And usually, even with the experiment that was connected back then, a lot of times you even take up to 6 people to get to who you want to get to. So there's someone within your circle that knows somebody. You know, they always say things like, oh, we are water, oh, million. We know with ourselves. We are so intertwined. No matter how vast and how many we are actually in Nigeria, we know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Trust me. So we never can tell. For example, let's even speak of KK family, right? Your family. I'm a lawyer, and I know if I speak to just 1-2 people, like people that will connect me to your cousin Koye, right?
Right.
Your aunt is a justice. I'm just giving this personal example because it's just coming randomly. And then I met you through somebody else.
Exactly.
So open your mind and also understand that if you really want something and you explore your intra network, you have internet opportunities around you, you explore the different search engines to know where they are meeting, where they're having their exhibitions, their conferences, or whatever it is, even if it's not the company itself, those key figures, where do they go to? Find those opportunities. And if you keep knocking and seeking, like Bible says, you would find.
Keep knocking, the door will open eventually.
It will eventually, if you keep trying, because sometimes even when that door is being shut, that door can lead you to the next door that will bring the opportunity. So those network providers, they are listening of the companies that you want to that are under that category, and then look, they have, and a lot of companies are involved in activations to promote their own goals themselves. So go there and find the opportunities. If you're ever to the wrong place, they can direct to the right person.
Right.
So you just have to keep trying.
Talk to someone.
Leverage your intra network. That's your current network, and also your networking outside of yourselves. Let's not always think, oh, networking is about meeting new people. It's about leveraging the current network that you have, your current connections, and then the new people that you meet.
Amazing stuff. Okay, let me see. Okay, there's another message here. I'll take that in a little bit. I just want to talk about how you deal, how one is able to, should I say, successfully deal with the failures. I mean, not every networking attempt is going to work out. Sometimes you're ghosted or you're ignored. I mean, like Austin said, he sent DMs and he wasn't responded to. I mean, how do you get up and bounce back from that?
Even in sales, as a business lawyer, so I kind of know a bit of everything, right? In sales, they will tell you to create leads and try and create as much as 100 leads, and in 100 leads expect just a 10%. So you might say you've been through a lot of DMs. How many DMs have you even reached? Is it up to 100? I'm not saying it has to be 100, but my point is that is the reality of life, where you need to create all your prospects. I know that even as you create all the prospects, expect your no's. So just look forward to 10% of the leads you created.
Okay.
So you need to create more. So the more leads you create, the more prospects you create for yourself. And the truth about like I said earlier, people still rely on physical connections. People rely on referrals. So if for example you've thought about your current network of somebody that knows somebody, and that person can now refer you, that holds more weight than being the total stranger in their DM. That's the truth. So you need to understand that try everything possible. How bad do you want it? I will retrace that. Try your intra network, and then still go to more DMs. Go again. You never can tell them. I just get a response, and then keep following them and find out where they are. If possible, to meet them in those places. If possible, those DMs, when you keep following them, Google them, you kind of find out, okay, what kind of events will they be at? You might be speaking at some events. Then go there, ask a question, try and make yourself stand out, be visible in those situations. And they say, oh, I'm trying to meet you, sir. I've been in your DMs. Oh, really? Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't know. I don't really check my DMs. They're taking a rapport. Oh, why you want to see me? Oh, because I can come and see you. If I'm busy, okay, fine. This is what I want to talk to you about. Like I say, yeah, okay. And speak to my PA. Oh, this is my card. This is my appointments. So don't give up, basically.
Right.
Don't give up without trying everything. And trust me, we have a lot of network providers in Nigeria, in Africa, in the world. Go to their LinkedIn DMs. If you've tried Instagram, everybody's on LinkedIn, especially professionals. Go on LinkedIn, go to their DMs, all of them. The more you go, the better your prospects. The more you see what they are doing and send opportunities to meet with them. And like I keep stressing, try everything. Don't just try the internet aspect alone. Look for someone that can introduce you to them.
Right. Try online, try offline. Yes,
and even if you're not able to find someone in your immediate network that is in that field, do you know someone that can help you introduce somebody in that field? We're in a world where even the gatesman has leg.
Like you said.
Pass you.
Like you said, 6 people.
Yes.
6 people.
Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly wrap up with some messages here.
Okay.
This is a message from Kilichi. Interesting. He talks about LinkedIn, as you just mentioned LinkedIn. He says,
Yeah.
is it okay to reach out to someone on LinkedIn just to ask for mentorship, or does that seem too forward?
Okay. Speaking of mentorship, I think when it comes to using the word mentorship, I've made a mistake several times myself. So I've learned while trying. Don't When you say mentorship, sometimes you put people under pressure when you say
Hmm.
mentorship because they feel like, okay, what do you want from me? Mentorship. Number one, they are busy people. Number two, they might be a lot of mentees already. Number three, they might not even know what to do for you. So start by building a relationship. So like I said, I've made those mistakes in the past, and I find people making those mistakes with me. So they come my DM, oh ma'am, I really admire you. I'd like to mentor me. How? So rather than say mentorship, say I have some questions for you. Can I have a session to ask you these questions? That is mentorship too.
Hmm.
But you're not using the word mentorship because mentorship is so vague. What do you want? After even saying mentorship, what are the things that you're even seeking to get from this person? I remember people would, and I would even send in my details and say, okay, you know what, this is my number, and they will not call you.
They won't follow up.
They will not follow up, basically. So,
Aha.
so are you just being a fan because you like the person? Or if you really have something that you want to mentor you on, speak about it and say, ma, in this area, let's say for example work-life balance, these are my challenges, I'd like to have a session with you, just rub mind with you on that. A very good mentor of mine, and she's been my mentor for a number of years. I met her through asking a question in a big conference, and I never even and say, oh, ma, I asked my mentor. I just said, ma, I stick to going to partnership years from now. And she said, and she was even hard that told me, come and sleep in my house because I asked a question on partnerships back then when I was still very young. And I just started my law firm. And that's how we built the relationship. So if I have a question, I call her, I will schedule a Zoom call and we have a meeting. That is mentorship. Why do you say, ask my mentor, mentor you on what? So
Hmm.
be specific, have your questions ready. Curate them, take your time and think.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. What do you need from this person? What are the values? And guess what? People are willing to help you. People that we're looking up to and we think they are almighty, they also seek fulfillment by being of value to you, by helping with your questions, by also uplifting people. But if you
Right.
come here, I don't look serious, just asking, I want to be my mentor, I really admire you. Okay. But be very direct and have an action point. It's easy for you to build that relationship based on something actionable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very well said there. All right, let me take this message. And this is an interesting one because it actually talked about somewhere that I was already going to, just to wrap up on the conversation. This is Jesse in Ojo. Says, good job and well done to our guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
He
Jesse.
then says the part of asking questions uh, part of asking questions was basically preached to me. Thank
Yeah.
you. Please, can we
You're
have the
welcome,
name
Jesse.
of your book, man? That's where I was going to because we've talked about your book,
Yeah.
Beyond Handshakes, Turning Your
Yeah.
Contacts into Gold.
Yes.
Amazing body of work. I mean, that's how I've been calling you an author since.
Thank you.
It's a very, very, should I say, eye-opening one. It has a lot of information, a lot of things that you talked about. You made references from the book, and what what actually, just very quickly, because time has absolutely flown by. What actually pushed you to decide, you know what, I'm taking all this knowledge and putting it into this particular book, and how has it been since then till now?
Can I do that in 5 minutes? Let me try. Let me try. Okay, so what prompted me into writing this book was my experience at the age of 25, 26 when I started my law firm. At that age, it was unheard of. It was very, very rare to find people of my age starting their own law practice. I had what? Let's just say like 4 years, experience as a lawyer.
Oh wow.
And I felt that conviction to start my practice at that time. In fact, I felt sort of urgency to start it. I started with 0 clients. So how did I build my law firm to what it is now? That is now a partnership, and we have offices in Lagos and Abuja. It was just networking. I had to go out there and get the clients. I had to network to even work in the practice area that I wanted because I had limited knowledge. So I had to build my knowledge. I built my knowledge to get clients. I built my network to get clients. I built my network to also expand my knowledge to give better service to my clients. So it was years of networking, failing and trying. So I was reflecting one day, somewhere in 2023, I'm like, this is my networking. I think I've really, really grown. See, look at how, look at how far I've come. Even if there's still so much that we keep, aspiring for, right?
Right.
And then I felt that it's not enough to just say, oh, look how far I've come. I've learned so much. People need this knowledge. How about you share? And that was how this book was birthed unknowingly. It started with an IG live. to just share my lessons. And then when I was praying for the live, my notes were so full, I couldn't do anything in 1 hour. And so, okay, let me just put it together, a small thing, a small ebook. This so-called small ebook has grown to what it is now. And the book has become, something else, right? It has grown. It has grown in spite of me, because I didn't even expect it to be this big. And guess what? I'm here, right? This is my second time on this show talking on this topic. I've been on, different platforms, on TV, on radio, different platforms, being called to speak. Now, I've hosted 2 masterclasses this year, because it's a very broad topic and we need this knowledge so that we can build our skills in networking. So that's like the short story of how we started.
The abridged version.
Yeah, the abridged version.
Fantastic. Okay, so before we pull the curtain on the show, for all our listeners out there, for the Austins, for the Jessies of this world, who would love to send you a DM, who would love to should I say, ask you for, in quote, mentorship, who would love to talk to you more about your book.
Yeah.
Also, where can they find you on your social media, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, and so on? You can get into your DMs and just have conversations with you.
Okay, so on LinkedIn, I am Toyin Asada. LinkedIn, Toyin Asada. You can find me there, come to my DM, and then we'll talk. And on Instagram, at _the essence of Toyin, or Toyin the author. So I have 2 platforms on Instagram. _the essence of Toyin, or Toyin the author on Instagram. You can find me on this platform. I can have access to getting copies of my book, and also talking to me, and also have access to my other resources on networking.
Right. Fantastic stuff, man. It has been such a great morning.
Yes.
Brilliant. So thank you so much, Toyin, for should I say, gracing us with your presence here to share all this knowledge.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Ayokunmi, for having me.
No problems whatsoever. And to everyone out there, remember that every meaningful opportunity starts with a conversation. Yeah. So step up, show up, and very importantly, please follow through. That is how the doors are open. Yeah. And on that note, we've come to the end of Lagos Talks this Wednesday morning on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Thank you for being a part of the show. And don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned. The show kicks on. More great Wednesday music coming your way up until 11 when Oluwatoyin will be in. It's a Wednesday, so the Soul Sisters, where y'all at? Keep it tuned.
98.1. Thank you. It's a wrap.
Yes, indeed, it's a wrap.
Thank you so much.
Opportunity and hope. The chorus. A triumphant release of joy as the crowd